Baddies, babes, and gents, what's going on? Welcome to Bad Girls Talk. I am Wisdom's daughter, and on this channel over here, we talk about everything from reality TV to current events to trending news stories. And today, we're going to be talking about the state of Georgia versus Ernest Williams. And so, if you're wondering who's Ernest Williams, aka Nesto, don't worry, you'll catch up. This is the now ex-husband of Shirley Strawberry of the Steve Harvey Morning Show. So today's topic is checkmate. Wooten strikes back in new motion to dismiss. And the question on the table is, will bigamy be Nesto's downfall? We got a lot to talk about. But before we do, let me go ahead and greet those who were first in the room really quickly. Galatians 6-7 said, yes, sis is back. Show is. Kid Elder said, my girl can't wait. Honeybee 61 is in the building. We got Nesto Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame said good evening and welcome to Bad Girls Talk with our hostess with the mostest, Wisdom's daughter. Please remember to like and share, subscribe, and engage respectfully in the comments. Well, come on in, okay? New mom working hard for that wrench. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And certainly, as she has said in the next comment, you can consider becoming a member over on Bad Girls Talk, because with everything that's going on today, we are definitely going to be doing some member only lives and talking about some things. I got Jam in the building, say, hey, Wisdom and everyone's. Jenny, not from the block, is in the building here at Bad Girls Talk. I got Name Change 412, Pavlova, Social Wife Melissa in the building, Melissa Gauze, T Rain, Zen Soul, You Get Me, Auntie Gigi, and so many more are in the building. Thank you for all the mods that are on. King June's Poetry is up in the building. And for those of you who are new here, welcome. After you hit that like button, and I mean, you got to hit it like you mean it, okay? Don't just tap it. You got to really hit it like you mean it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can participate in the live chat. All right, so let's get right into today's topic. And so, on yesterday, okay, Dennis Byron broke the story that Will Wooten has responded with a 55-page motion to dismiss. Now, dismiss what, you might ask? Well, is to dismiss the defense's motion to suppress vehicle evidence. And they are citing the Fourth Amendment, and they're also citing issues with the fact that Nesto had many wives, okay? And so Shirley Strawberry got, unfortunately. Yeah, she got real good, okay? And there's even talk, those of you who follow Tasha K, there is even talk of Charleston White, one of the victims in the RICO case, coming forward, mentioning that Shirley Strawberry may have had more involvement than you thought. Again, that's alleged. We don't know, but this is coming from the victim's mouth to our ears. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. Just put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me okay. I changed some settings on my microphone and I didn't get a chance to test it. So let me know if you are able to hear me loud and clear. And let's go on and get right into it. So earlier today, I was on Dennis Byron's show, cracking up, having a kiki. And we had gone through part 2 of this document. Okay, he had attempted to go through part 1 the day before, and Sir didn't have his glasses on. He couldn't see a damn thing. He couldn't read a damn thing. It was worse than watching Sylvia. It was bad. But anyway, we're going to go through it because our conversation is going to center around Will Wooten's argument, not so much the defense. But I will tell you, they put a lot of evidence, the birth certificates, marriage certificates. We finally got to see Shirley Strawberry's marriage certificate. So if you weren't on the live earlier today, don't worry, you're going to see it here. I'm going to show you everything. We're going to at least read the first portion of the document. I'm only going to read the juicy stuff, okay? And then we'll go through some of the other things because they listed out everything that they found in Nesto's truck. Everything that they found in Erica King's house, everything that they found at Nesto's house that he wasn't supposed to have in the first place. So we're going to get through all that and more. Shout out to our members. I got Southside Chi-Town in the building. Miss Mai Tai is in the building. Miami Lady T said, I am here. I hear you loud and clear. Okay. Thank you guys for being members of the BGT family. All right, let me pull up this document. And if we have time towards the end for fits and giggles, we are going to listen to a very, very short but very funny Dre call. All right. And just in case for those of you who were not on with us at that time, I'm going to play a little clip from that. Because basically, after reading and going through this motion, we're going to talk about it, but I feel like
I got to see how you're going to get up out of this right here and clear your name back. I really want to see how you're going to get yourself out of this one. But boy, I got to see how you're going to get up out of this right here and clear your name back. I really want to see how you're going to get yourself out of this one.
Dre, we all want to see how Nesto's going to get up out of this one because, listen, the state makes a great case about this motion. We all want to see how Sean Hoover is going to get his boy out of this one, okay? T-Rain says, so bro, Will Wooten said Nesto's done for. All right, let me pull up this document and we're going to go through it. We are going to go through the whole thing, at least the juicy parts anyway, because there's a lot here. And y'all know I read pretty fast and efficiently, so we will get through this in good time. Let me go ahead and share one of these screens at least. Hold on a second. Let me see. You know what? I think I have determined that I'm going to need another screen. I think I'm going to need another monitor, actually. All right. So I'll make it big. It's up on the screen. I'm going to make it big so that we can all read it together. All right. So here is the motion to suppress. Again, let me make sure I got the right document. Yeah. So this one was just filed yesterday. Wooten filed this at 5:02 p.m. Okay. Sir is not playing. State's motion to dismiss defendant's motion to suppress vehicle search for lack of standing. And that is why I said checkmate. All right. I really feel like he certainly checkmated this dude, like for real, because I don't think Hoover was expecting this. So comes now the state of Georgia by and through the undersigned counsel and moves this honorable court to dismiss the defendant's motion to suppress vehicle search on grounds that the defendant lacks standing to challenge the search in question. You hear that, Nesto? You lack standing to challenge the search in question. The defendant has filed motion to suppress on September 30th, 2024, and the state filed a response on October 25th, 2024. There was a partial hearing on December 18th, and the court heard testimony from Roswell Police Department, now Detective Natalie Fields, and an argument from the counsel related to whether the seizure of the Ford F-350 vehicle was lawful under the Fourth Amendment. Now, at the conclusion of the testimony and argument, the court directed the parties, okay, the defense and the prosecution, to file supplemental briefing related to what, if any, of the state's evidence would constitute fruit of the poisonous tree. If the court ultimately ruled that the seizure of the Ford F-350 was unlawful. I love Wooten, okay? Let me tell you why. Wooten is petty, okay? Wooten got a little petty in him because if I'm not mistaken, the quote unquote fruit of the poisonous tree is something that Sean Hoover said in court. And so he is using Sean Hoover's words, okay? He said fruit of the poisonous tree. You best go on with your petty ass. Hold on a second. Sorry, y'all. 1 second. Let me, okay, I think that'll work. All right, let's keep going. So the state requested that the court also allow it to file supplemental briefing on the issue of whether the seizure of the Ford F-350 vehicle was lawful, in addition to supplemental briefing on, once again, quote unquote, okay, do it with me, air quotes, fruit of the poisonous tree issue. And the court permitted the state to do so. So accordingly, the state now files this motion to dismiss the defendant's motion to suppress vehicle search for, once again, lack of standing. Okay, so here we go. They start talking about the Fourth Amendment because I couldn't remember what the Fourth Amendment was. I had to look it up. All right, don't judge me. Politics is an interest, but it's that's not my specialty. Honeybee said Hoover ain't getting nobody out of nothing. Okay, he was taking counsel from Hen Squire. Oh, Lord Jesus. Now somebody is going to change their name to Hen Squire. Honeybee, you are hilarious. I absolutely love it. What's going on? Shay B is in the building. All right, so the Fourth Amendment guarantees that the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures. Well, that's a lie because, Breonna Taylor is one example of, someone breaking into, or entering a home unlawfully, and unfortunately she lost her life in the process. But anyway, this is the Fourth Amendment right. If we people of color still have it, okay, that's another conversation for another day. But anyway, it's the right of the people to be secure in persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable search and seizures shall not be violated. Okay. It was ratified by the courts, and they basically have worked to define and refine the scope of the meaning of unreasonable, right? My meaning may be different from your meaning. Search and seizures, under what circumstances Fourth Amendment protections apply in the first place. So over time, several fundamental principles have emerged. Of particular relevance here, in order to claim protections guaranteed by the Fourth Amendment, a defendant, aka Nesto, must demonstrate first that he exhibited an actual subjective expectation of privacy in the thing or place searched, and second, that the expectation is one that society is prepared to recognize as reasonable. And he quotes Katz versus United States. In other words, Nesto had a right to say, no, you cannot search my vehicle. Okay. But because he had outstanding warrants, I'm just saying, that's what happens when you commit crimes. Where a defendant cannot establish both a subjective expectation of privacy and a legitimate objective expectation of privacy, his own Fourth Amendment rights are not infringed, and he has no standing to contest the legality of a search. Rackus versus Illinois. Here, the defendant asked the court to recognize as objectively reasonable and legitimate a purported expectation of privacy in a Ford F-350 vehicle procured by him solely through years-long fraudulent and a bigamous marriage. Ooh, Nesto. Courts in Georgia and elsewhere have soundly rejected Fourth Amendment claims in similar contexts, including those involving searches of stolen vehicles, searches of hotel rooms procured by fraud, searches of laptops purchased with stolen credit card information, and searches of storage units rented under false identities, even apartments rented under false identities and forged proof of income documents. Hint, hint, okay? Let me tell you something. Will Wooten is playing chess over here. He is setting Nesto up and Hoover up for the big fall. If you guys haven't read between the lines yet. When he says even apartments rented under false identities and forged proof of income documents, because, as we're going to get into just shortly, Erica King's apartment was searched, as well as the residence that Nesto was staying in and the vehicles on that property. Okay, so he can't claim some things he was trying to claim, and Wooten is laying it out. Okay, Wooten took the gloves off, baby. Look. Gloves came off. Okay. Can y'all see me? Okay. Make sure y'all can see me. All right. The gloves came off. All right. Now, in line with these decisions, as set forth more fully below, the court should reject the defendant's Fourth Amendment claim and dismiss his motion because he has no standing to object to the search of the Ford F-350. You better go on Wooten. Can you woo, woo, woo? Y'all give me a woo, woo, woo in the chat, okay? Somebody give me a woo, 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 woo in the chat. Now, here is the relevant factual background, because Hoover, I keep saying Hoover. I just like the name Hoover. Will Wooten, okay, our boo thing, Wooten, okay, He's so sexy. Anyway, he's not going to make a claim without backing it up. So here we go. On July 7th, 2022, Roswell Police Department officers seized a Ford F-350 vehicle after placing the defendant under arrest on multiple outstanding warrants. I see them woo-woos. Thank you so much. CHECKMATE is in the building. And my mic sounds nice. Check one. Thank you so much, Annette. A search warrant was obtained to search the vehicle the following day, and the vehicle was subsequently searched. The search yielded multiple items, including a black book bag containing various documents, a laptop containing child abuse material, cellular telephones, plural, a USB drive, vehicle and storage unit keys, 2 black dildos. What was Nesto doing with the dildos in the vehicle? I'm just saying, like, are you messing with them while you're driving? Are you pulling over and throwing somebody in the back? What was he doing with, anyway, a black mask with zips and liquid Viagra. So it is undisputed that the Ford F-350 in question was not registered to the defendant, but instead was registered to Shirley Strawberry. It says, see defendant's motion to suppress at 2. And then they list the warrant that was obtained, okay? And they determined the vehicle was registered to his wife. The defendant asserts that Shirley Strawberry was his wife on the date of seizure of the Ford F-350. And then there's a note here, but any purported marriage between the defendant and Miss Strawberry was bigamous and therefore void as a matter of law. In order to be able to contract marriage in Georgia, a person must have no living spouse of a previous marriage. Marriages of persons unable to contract shall be void. As such, a previous undissolved marriage renders void an attempted second marriage. Hello, somebody. Shout out. I think V Lenore is in the chat, and if she's not, shout out to V Lenore because she did an awesome job helping Dennis out with this the other day. Name Change said, "Hey, he gonna get punched in the general population when he gets sentenced." Boneytail did get the documents, or she's asking, Boneytail, did you get the documents? It's time to try his case. How does it feel to have karma slap your face? And hold on a second. Somebody just gifted memberships. Oh, Shay B, thank you so much, Queen. She just gifted 5 memberships. Let me get this. Now, hold on a second. Let me shift some things around over here because I have too many things on my desk. Sorry about the noise, y'all. I done moved the microphone where it ain't supposed to be. But I want to shout out our new BGT members, family members. All right. And your girl's going to get it together. All right. Rev It Up, Go, Roro was gifted by Shay B. Galatians 6:7 was gifted. Name change 412. Dr. Charles and Keisha Marie. Y'all all were gifted by none other than Shay B. This is one of my ride or dies. All right. So please give her a very warm BGT. Thank you. And for the new members, welcome officially to the BGT family. Because as I say on my other channel, we can now. All right, family. So welcome. All right. And thank you so much again, Queen. May your gift return back to you tenfold. I appreciate you so very much. So listen, give a gift. It's very nice to gift and it's nice to be gifted. So y'all just make sure y'all pay it forward. So ultimately what Wooten is doing is trying to, within this motion, not trying to, what I think he's doing quite successfully, might I add, is that he is basically shutting down Hoover's argument. Basically is what he's doing. He's shutting down his argument. So he's not really going to have too much of a leg to stand on. Okay. He's literally refuting the evidence in the motion, which I think is very, very genius, because what more could Hoover say after Will Wooten, for those of you who play spades, okay, he done run a Boston on your boy, okay? Will Wooten done run a Boston, okay, on Sean Hoover, okay? What for those of you who don't play spades, when you run a Boston, that means when you basically get every book. So spades is a game where you play a hand and the goal is to win the hand, right? Got four players and two teams, two people to a team. So between each of the teams, you want to win those hands. So when one team wins all the 13 books that could be potentially won for that round of the game, we call it running a Boston. All right. And that's a big deal. So for my spades players, Sean Hoover came out, with the ace of spades, thought he was doing something. All right. And then, here comes Wisdom's daughter. I came out with the deuce of diamond because, I was going to try to do a little something, and then Sean Hoover came back over there, or the other lady that works for him came back over there with a little joker, thought he was doing something. And Will Wooten came and slammed down the big joker on the table and said, "What now? What you got to say now?" That's what has happened here. For those of you who don't know. All right, so let's see what else he got. Now, he cites, for reasons unclear to the state, the defendant's supplemental brief to suppress vehicle search and all derivative evidence filed on January 6, 2025 does not appear on the public docket associated with the case, even though no sealing order has been sought or entered as to any pleading filed in this case, because Georgia law presumes that the public will have access to all court records. Damn, Wooten. Listen, Wooten done called Sean Hoover's low behind out. Okay, he done called his big bald-headed 300-pound elephant-looking ass out. Okay, okay. Wooten is telling everything. What this statement means is that Hoover responded. He put in his supplemental brief. So as was stated in the document that I just read a couple of minutes ago, at the last hearing, the judge decided, okay, I want you guys to put in supplemental briefs so we can, settle this. Hoover did that, but it wasn't it doesn't look like it was filed, or at least it wasn't entered on the public docket, so we can't see it. But guess what? Because, Wooten, that's my boy. He got a little petty in him. He put the supplemental brief in his motion. So we're going to get to see what big old Hoover had to say. Okay. Name change is asking me, oh, good. Get her. Yes. I know she's got something coming up. Now I'm going to tell you for Infamous, that first case that's coming up is not really that exciting what's coming up, but I do plan to be there. And I will put in my rule 22. So I got you guys. All right. Getting back to this case though, over here. So Wooten just called them out. Okay. In the footnotes, basically I'm paraphrasing. I don't really understand why, but you didn't put your supplemental brief to suppress vehicle search and all derivative evidence that you filed a couple weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It's not on the public docket. So just want to make that clear. I don't know if they got something to hide, but it's not on there. All right. So now we know that they're mentioning the whole issue of bigamy, right? So here the defendant remained in at least one previous undissolved marriage at the time of his attempted marriage to Shirley Strawberry, rendering that attempted marriage void. On October 22nd, 1985, the defendant married who? Edith Miller in Aiken County, South Carolina. Okay. Now, if you guys remember two things, Chronicle Speaks was contacted by Edith and confirmed that she is the wife, and she's the only wife. She's the real legal wife. Any other wives that have come after her are not really wives. They might be some sister wives, but they're not real legal wives. And also, you may remember Nesto and Sonia talking about Edith, and Nesto talking about this woman like a dog, calling her stupid. And Sonia goes on, hold on a second. Let me, I want y'all to see my face when I say this. So Sonia goes on Tasha K and basically lies and says, oh no, Edith never talked to anybody. That was a lie. She never spoke to anybody. She never said anything. Really? That's the lie that you're going to tell? Well, guess what? Use a lie. And we know the truth. And Chronicle Speaks had already cleared that up because she showed the receipts received from Edith saying, no, I am the wife. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. Anyway, keep going. Sorry for that. So then they talk about C Exhibit B. We're going to get to the exhibits later. The exhibits are each of the marriage certificates, the licenses, the divorce decrees, all of that. Okay. So they have the marriage certificate for Edith. It says there appears to be no record that the marriage to Miss Miller was ever dissolved. Now, on September 1st, 2001, the defendant married, meaning Nesto. Nesto married Martha in Cobb County. And then there's also a marriage license for DeKalb County for her. And then on December 16, 2014, while Edith and Martha were still living, and while at least one of their marriages to the defendant remained undissolved, the defendant fraudulently swore to and file a marriage license application with the Fulton County Probate Court, falsely stating under oath that each of his 3 prior marriages had been dissolved by divorce and that he was not subject to any legal impediment or other reason he should not be married. So earlier today, Dennis asked the question, well, do you think Shirley knew? Hell no, she didn't know. What woman is going to marry a man? Okay, well, maybe there might be one desperate woman, but women in general are not going to marry a man knowing that he has other wives. That's a crime, right? And why would you want to marry somebody that's not? Listen, women in general don't want to marry a man that's still married to somebody else. Okay, you cannot get married to somebody if they're still married to somebody else. And most women wouldn't even take that chance because they know that they're going to get caught. So no, Shirley didn't know. No, she didn't know. She didn't know. Dr. Charles is in the building. Shout out to Dr. Charles. Thank you so much for being a member. She is so attention starved. I believe this is the most attention she's ever received from anybody in her entire life. You must be talking about Bonitail, the side chick. Just let me know. Let me know in the comments. Oh boy, name change said why back is probably in the bushes getting sweaty because we are reading this response. Why back? We are Wooten's fans, boo. Ooh. Look, I'm gonna stay away from the comments for a minute. Y'all gonna have me on one. Anyway, so no, she did not know. You don't ever assume that the man that you're marrying has another wife when he's swearing that he doesn't. Okay, I'm just saying. All right. The defendant then subsequently attempted to fraudulently marry Shirley Strawberry on January 9th, 2015. That was the day they got married. Georgia's civil statutes rendering, and then he lists the statute. That marriage was in violation of Georgia's civil statutes rendering bigamous marriages void. Bigamy is not allowed here in Georgia. You got married in the wrong state, boo-boo. Georgia's criminal statute making it a felony offense to enter into a bigamous marriage. I didn't know that bigamy was a felony, to be honest with you. I mean, I know with my involvement with this case, but previously, I didn't realize that's a felony. So yeah, no, she didn't know. She didn't know. She's not going to willingly commit a felony just to be married to some man. Okay. Now, there's a note here, a footnote. It is unclear to the state whether the third undissolved marriage existed at the time of the attempted marriage to Miss Strawberry, but given the still undissolved marriages to Miss Miller and Miss Martha, well, let me say Edith, to Edith and Martha, the existence of a third undissolved marriage is immaterial. He said it don't even matter. It don't even matter. You know what's crazy? Criminals have rights. Criminals have rights, right? Nesto done all of this crap, but he still has the right to file a motion to suppress evidence that he knows is going to bury him. MMPD is in the building. Hey, lady and bros, I cannot wait to get home to hear the rest of this. All right, make sure you drive safe though. Don't be laughing and closing your eyes and whatnot and hitting the guardrail. Wade Edwardson's daughter, if you never checked out the Wade Wives, you wouldn't put anything past a desperate woman. See, now I gotta check it out. yes, there are some desperate women out here, but I don't think Shirley was one of them. A little foolish, but not desperate. So all these exhibits we're going to get to in a minute. I'm going to skip over that for right now. Notably, the divorce decree pointed out that the defendant and Miss Strawberry had no joint marital assets subject to equitable division, and noted that the defendant did not file an answer or otherwise respond to Miss Shirley's complaint for divorce. The defendant apparently made no claim of ownership of the Ford F-350. Okay, once again, just so we can stay focused, this is Wooten's argument as to why the evidence should be allowed, all of it, and as to why they should dismiss Nesto's motion to suppress. Basically stating, number one, he was not legally married to Shirley Strawberry, so that wasn't his wife. And number two, that's her car. It was registered to her. That's her vehicle. The defendant apparently made no claim of ownership of the Ford F-350. The court ordered that Ms. Strawberry shall be entitled to exclusive ownership of any property titled in her name or in her possession. Okay, he gets another snap. Okay, this is chess. Sean Hoover is over here playing checkers. He's so busy trying to go after content creators, you know, like myself and a few others over some pettiness, trying to say that we're not real journalists and whatnot. He should have been working on this doggone case because he done wasted a whole bunch of Nesto's time. Okay, Nesto said he wanted a speedy trial. He didn't want all of this foolishness. Okay, it is not a speedy trial. It's a slow trial. Anyway, so Miss Strawberry was also awarded sole exclusive use and possession of the vehicles currently in her possession. Okay, once again, not Nesto's vehicle. So this is going to be interesting. Let me tell you, this is going to be one hell of a trial when it finally really gets started, and I can't wait. Further, the state expects Miss Shirley Strawberry, okay, to testify, right? They expect that she will testify that, number one, the defendant purchased the Ford F-350 and registered it in her name without her knowledge or consent. Nesto. The Ford F-350 was purchased using Shirley's funds, her money. Okay, so he don't use his wife's, well, it's not even his real wife. Okay, he used Shirley's money to buy a truck for him that's registered in her name without her consent. Lord have mercy. Miss Strawberry continues to make payments on the Ford F-350 despite not having known at the time of purchase that it was purchased and registered in her name. Miss Strawberry was unaware that the defendant was still married to Miss Miller, meaning Edith, and Miss Halliburton, meaning Martha, at the time of the wedding ceremony on January 9, 2015. Okay, so there it is. She did not know. Miss Strawberry would not have married the defendant, Nesto, had she known he was still married to Martha or Edith. And the Ford F-350 would not have been purchased and registered in Miss Shirley Strawberry's name without her knowledge or consent using her funds had she known the defendant was still married to Edith or Martha at the time of their wedding ceremony. Okay, can we speak on it? Can we speak on it? Like, Nesto, this is too much. This is too much. This woman was basically begging Nesto if she could please sell this vehicle. No, because the market's not good right now. You won't get any money for it. No, don't sell it because you don't know what you're doing right now and you're gonna get got. Oh man, I'm gonna lose all the money that I put on this vehicle. Baby, had she known, she would have been sold that vehicle. Okay. Accordingly, the defendant's use of the Ford F-350 on July 7, 2022 was procured solely through knowing and intentional fraud committed by him vis-a-vis his bigamous marriage to Miss Shirley Strawberry and his purchase and registration of the Ford F-350 in Miss Shirley's name using her funds without her knowledge or her consent. So if he did that with the Ford F-350, you can only imagine what else he was doing. Shirley was not aware of what was going on. This man is just spending her money. This man is just spending her money. So some of those evictions she might not have known. Who knows what excuse he came up with as to why they had to move so suddenly. And by the time, she realized what was going on, that was that. Okay. This is crazy. Hold on, y'all. Give me 1 second because I need to get some more light in here. I can't see. I can see, but I can't see. 1 second. I'm going to turn on the big light. All right. Yeah, that's actually better for me. Okay, hopefully it's better for you guys too, because it is not Halloween and I'm not hiding. All right. So this is what was going on. She certainly would not have spent all her money on a lawyer had she known he had a whole side chick. I'll tell you that. MMPD's finest said, back in our grandparents' day, them men had a woman married and a load of kids in almost every state. Yes, my grandpa was a Rolling Stone. Okay, I have uncles younger than me. Okay, my grandpa was having children way into his 70s. I think he was 71 or 72 when he fathered his last child. Yeah, it was like that. Okay, so here is the argument. Okay, and when he says the argument, let me just double check. I believe. Okay, this is not Sean Hoover's argument, not yet. Okay, we'll get to that, or not his brief. Anyway, let's keep reading. So the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution again guarantees right of a person to be secure. Right of the people to be secure in their persons, housings, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated. We got that, okay? And it also says that the Fourth Amendment rights are personal rights that may not be asserted vicariously. So this is Wooten's argument, okay? He's not arguing against the Fourth Amendment. He's just saying that it doesn't apply to Nesto. And Nesto has no standing to make this motion to suppress because of his dirty deeds. Okay. Because Nesto thinks if he does one good deed, that justifies him doing 50 bad ones. Fourth Amendment rights are personal rights that may not be asserted vicariously. And a defendant challenging a search or seizure as unreasonable must establish standing. Proprietary interest in or legitimate expectation of privacy regarding. So he mentioned this earlier. The place searched or evidence seized. And he quotes the case. As such, to prevail on a claim that law enforcement conducted an unconstitutional search under the Fourth Amendment, a defendant must first establish that he had a legitimate expectation of privacy in the place searched or evidence seized that society is prepared to recognize as reasonable. He goes on to say that California versus Saralo, if I'm pronouncing that right, standing to challenge search requires a subjective expectation of privacy that society will recognize as legitimate. Further, it is the defendant who bears the burden of establishing both subjective and objective expectation of privacy, which I don't know if Nesto's going to be able to do. Finally, whether society is willing to recognize an expectation of privacy as legitimate is a question of law. Georgia courts have routinely rejected the proposition that society is prepared to recognize any legitimate expectation of privacy in property that is stolen or procured by fraud. So that is the issue. The issue is that because he was not legally married to Shirley, because he procured this vehicle with her money and registered it in her name without her knowledge, he exploited her celebrity, right? Her celebrity status. Because of all that, and he's not the legal owner, this amendment doesn't apply, right? Courts in Georgia have routinely rejected the proposition that society is prepared to recognize any legitimate expectation of privacy in property that is stolen or procured by fraud. Like, hey man, listen, I know I just stole this car, but I don't agree to a search of this stolen Maybach. Yeah, I stole this, but you can't search it because I got a Fourth Amendment right. No, nice try. In Bergeson, a defendant was convicted of unaliving a victim and stealing the victim's vehicle. Sometime after the unaliving, police located the defendant and her cohorts driving the victim's vehicle, initiated a traffic stop, and conducted a warrantless search of the vehicle. The Supreme Court of Georgia affirmed the trial court's denial of the defendant's motion to suppress the search of the vehicle, holding that the defendant had no standing to assert a violation of her Fourth Amendment rights, because she had no proprietary interest in the vehicle or legitimate expectation of privacy regarding the vehicle or its contents. Wooten is good. He is damn good. He is. He really, really is. Miss Lady said, even if the evidence from the truck was thrown out, which is not, still got him on bigamy and other scams from the victims. Yeah, but see, what Hoover was trying to do, because he's getting legal advice from Sidehen over there, who really needs to sit down somewhere and worry about her own subpoenas. But what Hoover is trying to do is he's trying to basically say that the state's case is the foundation of it, and all the other warrants and all the other things that they found stems from what was found and the warrants that extended from this vehicle search. So his thinking is he could get the whole thing thrown. If it's not his thinking, then maybe this is Nesto's thinking. But somebody over there is trying to see if they can get the whole thing thrown out. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Good try, though. On the contrary, the court observed, as one knowingly using a stolen vehicle on a public roadway, the defendant probably was in constant expectation of intrusion by the authorities. Now, because Nesto's dumb, he probably thought that he had some type of privacy, okay? Because he didn't think that anybody was going to find out that his marriage to Shirley wasn't legal. It wasn't legit. He didn't think that anybody was going to find out that he got this vehicle using her money and registered it in her name without her knowledge. Yeah, he didn't think that. Yeah. Yep. So, you know, Nesto, you're in a lot of trouble. I'm just saying.
But boy, I got to see how you're going to get up out of this one right here and clear your name back. I really want to see how you're going to get yourself out of this one.
Word. How you going to get yourself out of this one? Okay. What are you going to tell Shirley Strawberries now? Okay. I want to know what advice Sidehen is going to give you now. Okay. What kind of colors is she going to help you put on the wall now to deal with this whole situation? As I said earlier, Nesto, we need to get him some tissues and some soap on a rope because he's going to need it. Okay. He going to need it. He's going to need some tissues for his nose and his bum. Okay. Because there's going to be all types of violations when he gets to the rail jail. All right. There is no legitimate expectation of privacy in a stolen vehicle, right? We can all assume that. Now, in Brisbane, the Supreme Court of Georgia again held that a defendant had no standing to challenge the search of a stolen vehicle, relying on language from an Emory University School of Law Journal article observing that one in unlawful possession of a stolen vehicle should be in no better position to assert a claim of invasion to his privacy with respect to the search of the vehicle than would be a trespasser on real property. Makes sense to me. A person aggrieved, this is what he's quoting, a person aggrieved standing to suppress illegally seized evidence in transition. Like in Bergeson and Brisbane, the court held that a defendant's challenge to the lawfulness of a vehicle search must fail because the defendant and his companion could have had no legitimate expectation of privacy in a stolen vehicle. And basically, they're kind of like trying to say that Nesto sort of kind of stole the vehicle because he got it by illegal means. Georgia courts have not limited this logic to stolen vehicles, but have also extended it to other circumstances where a place searched was procured by a defendant by fraud. So we can't really say that Nesto stole the Ford F-350, but he definitely got it by fraud. In State versus Del Vecchio, the Court of Appeals of Georgia agreed with the prosecution's argument that one who obtains a hotel room by presenting a fraudulent credit card has no reasonable expectation of privacy and therefore lacks standing to challenge a search of the hotel room. Sounds right to me. Does this sound wrong to anybody in the chat? I'm just wondering. Name Change said, Wyback helped get Boneytail a grand jury subpoena. Why back? You want to resign this case before your license gets the wrong attention? Your clients are snakes. Lord have mercy. That is funny. That's why he wanted Sheridan out the way. He wanted it all. Your comments are funny. Shirley Strawberry is upside down with that truck. She owes more than it's worth. Yeah, I hope she's not still making payments on it. She better let them go ahead and take that truck. What did a barber need with a big truck like that? Because he's not licensed. He ain't a barber. That barbershop was a front for some other stuff, allegedly. You Need a Solution Too says Shirley Strawberry, that is, was told after putting money into someone else's house, they had to move because if the bugs, he Nesto had a reasons answer for whatever and everything. Okay, I'm gonna try to figure out what this is supposed to say. So apparently Shirley Strawberry, she was paying for renovations. I don't know why they were renovating this house, this rental, or what they were doing with the rental. I think they had put in a new pool liner and they were doing some other stuff. And then after putting all that money, helping to build equity in somebody else's house, they had to move, and Nesto claimed that it was because of bugs. That's what he claimed it was, because she was complaining about the bugs. Georgia does have some big bugs. I mean, they do. Biggest bugs I've ever seen. Palmetto bugs, okay? We used to call them water bugs back in New York, but here, you got some type of bugs that I can't even pronounce, snakes and frogs and just all type of stuff. I mean, it's no different from living near a swamp. There's just, y'all have some very unique insects here, and some dragonflies that look like, anyway, they look like they're too big to be held up by them little wings. All right. So if someone who fraudulently rents a hotel room has no standing of reasonable expectation of privacy, like one in possession of a stolen car, mere unlawful possession of a room does not alone warrant a reasonable expectation of freedom from governmental intrusion. Numerous federal cases are in accord. See, Wooten came ready. In United States versus Cayman, the defendant purchased a laptop using stolen credit card information. Police conducted a warrantless search of the laptop, which was found to contain images of boys who were around 10 or 12 years old, exhibiting their privates for the camera. The defendant's challenge to the warrantless search of the laptop was flatly rejected because, as the district court found, Cayman obtained the laptop computer by fraud. So he had no legitimate expectation of privacy in the contents of the hard drive. Okay. Have you guys ever seen a show called Suits? This reminds me of Suits. It's basically a show about lawyers and the cases that they prosecute and how they do all this research to support their case. And Wooten is on it, okay? My finger's gonna hurt tomorrow. I'm gonna be snapping all day for Wooten, okay? Boo-boo, that's for you. Not even a clap, you get a snap. In reaching its conclusion, the court noted we see no ground on which to distinguish property obtained by fraud from property that was stolen by robbery or trespass. Boom, there you have it. He is establishing his case, and I'm going to find it very hard for any judge to not agree with Wooten. It's going to be really hard not to agree with this man, because Hoover's argument was very hollow, very, very hollow. Okay. Imagine biting into a Snickers bar and you don't have, that nougat and that caramel and them crunchy peanuts in the middle. You just bite into it and it's just the outside of a shell. And there's nothing there. Okay. Wouldn't be the same. You'd be asking for your money back. Right. And so his argument is very hollow. So Wooten came prepared. He basically related all these cases and set them up in such a way that you can see Nesto's situation in this. You can't not see it. United States versus Johnson, the defendant directed his girlfriend to rent a storage unit using a stolen identity. Police conducted a warrantless search of the storage unit. Notice how he keeps using the word warrantless search, because the original search of Nesto's, well, it's really Shirley's truck, of the white truck, the Ford F-350, was done without a warrant. So you see how he's real strategic and how he puts these words in here. Police conducted a warrantless search of the storage unit and located 2 firearms, which the defendant was prohibited from possessing because of his status as a convicted felon. The 10th Circuit forcefully rejected, not just rejected, forcefully rejected the defendant's challenge to the warrantless search, finding that the defendant had no Fourth Amendment rights in a storage unit, in a storage unit procured by fraud. And then there's a note here. Ultimately, what matters is not whether Johnson might have some legitimate property interest in the storage unit, but whether Johnson's interest is one that the Fourth Amendment is intended to protect. Arguments such as those Johnson advances here do not distract us from the fact that a fraud was perpetrated and the victim was a third party. We will not be party to this fraud by legitimizing Johnson's interest in the storage unit. Therefore, whatever subjective privacy expectations Johnson had in the storage unit were not expectations that society is prepared to recognize as objectively reasonable. Well, he done addressed that, baby. Johnson thus did not have any Fourth Amendment rights in the unit and could not expect that the police were required to obtain a warrant or establish an exception to that requirement in order to search the unit. Boom, bam, bippity, done. Okay? T-Rain says, Sonia needs to know that Florida or FLA and FA laws are very much different. I don't know if that's supposed to say Florida and Georgia. I'm going to assume that you mean that Florida and Georgia laws are very much different. Oh, but I think you are finding that out now. Messy Boots asked. Oh, that's a new one. Yeah, Sonia is definitely Miss Messy Boots. Okay, she's Mistress Messy Boots because she wants to be a mistress so bad. She's tired of being called a side chick. So, being that Nesto is divorced from Shirley now, can we upgrade her to mistress? Can we do that? Because she's been feeling really bad. She tells Nesto that she don't be reading the comments, but she be all up in the bushes getting her feelings hurt. All right. So Mistress Messy Boots. Okay. We just upgraded you. You happy now? Good. Okay, great. Now sit down and have a seat somewhere. Just how dumb is Nesto? God, for this man just might commit suicide after. Oh, I'm not supposed to say that word. Just might unalive himself after this because, like Dion said, they are about to baptize his bunkie. Yeah. Sounds right to me. Name change said his underwear and sock shirt was all obtained by illegal transactions. Lazy ladies. I'm not lazy lady. Miss Lady. Crazy thing. Sonia will make excuses for this motion. She can make all excuses all she wants to. I wonder how she feels knowing that she has to turn in evidence against her boo. She wants Nesto out, okay? So she can, have another liquid Viagra party because that's what they were doing up in the RV, okay? He was dousing him. So while Diddy was dousing himself with baby oil mixed with whatever it was laced with, Nesto was over here baptizing himself in liquid Viagra, okay? So he can perform tricks and whatnot on Sonia, and, she just got sprung, okay? But I'm going to tell you something. You go ahead and try one of them parties without that liquid V. I don't think you're going to have the same experience. I'm just saying. Everybody, please remember to like, share, and subscribe and engage in the comments and consider becoming a member. Giving a super chat or a sticker, member milestones, and cash outs. Oh, you're so sweet, darling. Thank you so very much. Give it up to all the mods. They be working up in here. Owns a barbershop with no barber or managers. License, good point. Who's me? Was on the license. So he just poked holes basically in Hoover's argument, and Hoover is going to have a very difficult time with a rebuttal for this. It's going to be very hard to refute any of this. I'm not going to read through all this because basically he's just kind of restating what he said in different examples. But he said other challenges to warrantless searches have been rejected where a hotel room was searched without a warrant. And again, he is making it very difficult for a judge to not dismiss their motion to suppress. A vehicle was searched without a warrant after the defendant provided a false social security number on loan documents for the vehicle and stopped making payments. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So we thank you, Will Wooten, for your thoroughness, if that is a word. Okay, it's very thorough, comprehensive. Returning to cats and its progeny, the question before this court is whether society is prepared to recognize as objectively reasonable and legitimate Nesto's purported expectation of privacy in a Ford 350 that came into his possession only because of years-long fraudulent and bigamous marriage to Shirley Strawberry, and that he purchased and registered in her name using her funds without her knowledge or consent. As a starting point, it is axiomatic that the act of bigamy itself is one that modern society is not and never has been prepared to recognize as legitimate. And he talks about 1604, King James. In fact, you look at him going back to King James. Boy, you listen. Wooten, are you available? I'm just asking. King James I assented to an act of the English Parliament creating the felony offense of bigamy. If any person or persons being married do at the time of any marriage, any persons let me read this again. If any person or persons being married do at any time after marry any person or persons, the former husband or wife being alive, that then every such offense shall be a felony. So he's like, listen, this has been a felony since King James. My God. He brings up the Supreme Court long ago observed, we think it may safely be said that there never has been a time in any state of the Union where polygamy has not been an offense against society, cognizable by the civil courts and punishable with more or less severity. Can you imagine infamous Sylvia trying to read this? Can you imagine the infamous Snake trying to read all of this with her illiterate self? Anyway. So it talks about bigamous marriages, it's a felony offense and all those things. So moving past historical precedent, the real world consequences of the defendant's fraudulent and bigamous marriage suffered by Miss Shirley Strawberry, and indeed the same consequences suffered by any unwitting spouse victimized by a bigamous marriage, should not be lost on the court. Not only did the defendant's actions constitute a gross violation of Miss Shirley's trust and create the potential for lasting emotional harm and embarrassment, but the potential legal consequences for Miss Strawberry and similarly situated victims are innumerable. The federal government has previously identified a total of 1,138 federal statutory provisions classified to the United States Code in which marital status is a factor in determining or receiving benefits, rights, and privileges. And then he cites where that's coming from. These benefits, rights, and privileges under state and federal law include, among others, federal tax benefits, state income tax benefits, family hospital visitation rights, next of kin status for emergency medical decisions, tax-free transfers of property between spouses, and various spousal privileges in court proceedings. And I believe Shirley did one quick deed where she deeded some property to one of her spouses. I'm not sure if it was Nesto or not. And then I think anyway, doesn't matter. Simply put, the defendant's fraud operated to deprive Miss Strawberry of potentially thousands of benefits. Oh, it's more than thousands. You should have said tens of thousands right there. Of benefits, rights, and privileges tied to marital status under state and law. The fact of the matter is, he used his marriage to Shirley Strawberry in order to enact his schemes and scams. Moreover, he purchased the Ford F-350 using her funds. Again, we know this, registered it under her name without her consent, leaving her with the financial burden of an unwanted vehicle that she continues to pay for to the present day. You better go on and tell her story. Tell her testimony. The defendant fully knew he had procured that vehicle by fraud. He knew that his fraud might someday come to light and terminate his access to the vehicle, and should have been in constant expectation of intrusion by the authorities by driving such a vehicle procured by fraud on a public highway. Snap, snap, snappity, snap, snap, snap. Okay? All right, hold on one second, because we have a new member in the BGT family. Nesto, Shackle, Shuffle, Walker, Shan. Queen, thank you so much for becoming a member. I appreciate you so much. You've been part of the family, but welcome officially to the BGT family, and may your gift return back to you tenfold. All right. Ponytail got an extension, but I forgot the expiration date or due date. January 31st, I believe. I think it's January 31st. I think they gave her to the 30th. We can take a look at it. I think they gave her to the 31st. I believe it was. Here, you know what? I can pull it up. I can look it up real quick. 1 second. I'll look it up for you. I believe this is it. The second notice. Okay, no, this is the first notice. Where's the second notice? It's in here. Give me 1 second. I'll just go online and pull it up again real quick. And while I am doing that, again, just make sure you hit the like button. Just pop out the chat real quick and just make sure, because I'm on lives all the time. And sometimes I go back to watch something. I'm like, I never liked this video. Uh-oh. So just make sure that you guys hit that button while I'm checking on this real quick, because it's just so easy to forget. You jump in the live and, we get so caught up in what's going on. So sometimes we forget. So I appreciate it. That is a free way to support the channel. If you would like to send me a Cash App, of course, you can do so at I Am Wisdom's Daughter. Okay. You can send me a Cash App there if you would like. But again, free way to support the chat is just to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let YouTube know that we up in here. Okay. So here's the amended notice. I'm just going to look at it really, really quickly, and I will tell you. I had never downloaded it on this computer. That's really what it was. I had it downloaded on my phone. Okay, so and I did a live on this already, so you guys can take a look at that. You'll see a thumbnail with a picture of Ponytail. So they gave her until Wednesday, the 29th at 5 p.m. Due to the nature and scope of the documents we're seeking and your request for clarification, because she played in our faces, right? You know that Ponytail played in our face. Her and her sister wife, scheme team partner, Infamous Sylvia, pretending like she responded with a motion to quash. It was never a motion. Nothing was ever filed. That was them playing in our faces to try to get some views for Sylvia. Okay, because nobody is going to this crazy lady's channel. Anyway, I'm prepared to provide an extension to Wednesday, the 29th at 5 p.m. for you to provide the documents. So she's got 4 more days. Okay, she only does things on Mondays, so hopefully this is her last Monday to get it done. The extension also reschedules her appearance, if necessary, to January 31st. So she might still have to go down to the court before the Fulton County grand jury. Okay, so those of you who wanted to know the date on that, that is the date. That is the date on that. All right, let me get back to. Hold on a second, because I lost my screen. I don't know what screen I was on. I have too many screens open. It's really what it is. Let me see. Is it down here? Here it is. Okay. So basically, Nesto knew that he obtained this vehicle through fraud, and it was only a matter of time before he was going to get caught. And we can prove that because he tells Shirley Strawberry on a call that he had been checking his box, his little machine, to see if he had any warrants. Well, that machine don't work, Nesto. It obviously don't work. Okay. Yeah, you need to get another machine, because that machine works on everybody else for you to get everybody else's information, but it didn't work for you. Okay. So he knew that it was only a matter of time that he was going to get caught with everything. Okay. This is just some examples of some other examples of cases where they purported that the defendant did not have standing with the Fourth Amendment. Okay. So he says the entire transaction from beginning to end with this vehicle was fraud, and the court should not be party to that fraud by legitimizing the defendant's purported privacy interest in the Ford F-350. Okay, and then he concludes. For the reasons set forth above, the court should dismiss the defendant's motion to suppress vehicle search on grounds that any subjective privacy expectations the defendant may have had in the Ford F-350 were not expectations that society is prepared to recognize as legitimate and objectively reasonable. As a result, the defendant lacks standing to challenge the search. Okay. And that was signed by Fonnie Willis. So here, let's get to some juicy stuff, okay? And then I'll get to some more of your comments. So here are the exhibits for you guys who've never seen it. I'm going to make it just a little bit smaller so you can see it a little bit better. So here is the brief that Sean Hoover, it was filed. It was e-filed, but it never hit the docket. Well, we got it anyway, thanks to Wooten. Okay, so I'm not going to read all this. Basically, what this is Hoover's argument, and it's so shallow. You see how long or how much detail went into Hoover's argument, his supplemental brief. This man's supplemental brief is very, very short. Okay, so what he does is he's talking about the Fourth Amendment. And he basically is trying to say that, you know, Nesto has a right to privacy and yada, yada, yada. I will read some of this, okay? Mr. Williams filed a motion to suppress on September 30th, 2024, challenging the search of his vehicle upon arrest. Of his vehicle. That's funny because it's not his vehicle, all right? I wonder if Hoover knew that this was not his vehicle. Because sometimes lawyers don't find out until court. They're dependent on their clients to tell them what's up. So I wonder if he knew, okay? He's trying to cite the 4th, 5th, and 14th Amendments for Nesto in regards to search and seizure. Now, Wooten primarily addressed the 4th Amendment. So I don't know if that's something that Hoover's going to try to come back on. But anyway, so Nesto files his motion. The court held the motions hearing where argument from Nesto and the state were presented at the end of the hearing. The court ordered Nesto to file a brief outlining the pieces of evidence he believed were derived from the said search and should be suppressed if the court were to agree that the search itself was in fact illegal, which Hoover has pretty much proved that it wasn't, okay? So Nesto was arrested again July 7th, 2022 at 1:30 in the afternoon by Officer Fields and Officer Yav Tashenko. The vehicle Mr. Williams was driving at the time was subsequently illegally impounded and illegally searched the following day. This is what they're saying, okay? Now, then he quotes the victim's investigation, okay? He says that during the search of the Ford F-350 on July 8th, 2022, a backpack was found inside the vehicle. Within the backpack was a piece of paper with one victim, Melody Scretchen's credit card number located. Ms. Scretchen authorized the use of credit cards for the purchase of home appliances. After finding this piece of paper, Officer Fields reached out to Scretchen via a phone call on approximately August 15, 2022, almost a month after Mr. Williams was arrested. Ms. Scretchen stated she reported her car stolen on July 4th with the South Fulton Police Department. Ms. Scretchen also mentioned a report she filed regarding the use of her credit card items not authorized. She was interviewed again on August 30th by Detective Gooden and Officer Fields. During this interview, Ms. Scretchen provided information on how she met Mr. Williams and how the two of them discussed doing business together and what steps they took towards the business venture. Following the interview, Ms. Scretchen then filed a report against Nesto for using her credit card for unauthorized items. Now, why he's including this in here, I don't know. This does not help Nesto's case. Here's another victim. So Ms. Scretchen is the school teacher. Once again, for those of you who don't know, this is the person whose vehicle Nesto was supposed to sell, but ended up giving it to our victim. And we found that out because she went back to DR on vacation or to handle some business. And her aunt or grandmother, there's a discrepancy there, got pulled over while driving the vehicle. Okay. Anyway, Miss Bickham is the real estate agent, and she got for $190,000, and we'll get to what happened with her in a second. During the search of the Ford F-350 on July 8th, a backpack was found inside the vehicle. Within the backpack, a check from Wade Ford for $28.52 was located, along with invoices from the sale of a 2021 Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon. Ms. Bicker was interviewed by Detective Wooten and Officer Fields on October 13, 2022. During this interview, she discussed how she met Mr. Williams, aka Nesto, and their multiple business venture discussions. Here's another victim, Miss Washington. Now, she was the owner of a Harley Davidson that Nesto he took. Okay, if you guys remember, Nesto asked Miss Bickham, let me go back, okay, to write out some checks. $20,000 was written out to Danielle Diamonds, and that was to put down a down payment for Shirley's ring, even though I don't think this victim knew that. And there was another check for $6,000 that went to who? Olivia Washington. She was interviewed on August 27, 2022. She talked about a 2021 Harley Davidson that had been previously seized. She further discussed how Mr. Williams helped her pay the down payment on the motorcycle and how they worked together on other business ventures, and how she didn't know he was already arrested when she was trying to get in touch with him. Well, I wonder why she was trying to reach him. He got some of her stuff. Now we have Miss Delaney. Miss Delaney was interviewed by Detective Wooten, another victim, another Harley Davidson owner, and Officer Fields on September 15th. Officer Fields identified Miss Delaney as a previous associate of Mr. Williams after they searched the residence at 980 Pine Grove, the house right next to Erica King that Nesto said he never had, and located a 2020 Harley Davidson motorcycle. During this interview, Miss Delaney explained how she met Mr. Williams through another person, wonder who that was, and how they discussed possible business ventures. Miss Delaney also explained how she wrecked another vehicle she had and gave Mr. Williams permission to store her Harley Davidson and trailer at his residence. Sometime later, Miss Delaney filed a report with Sandy Springs PD and applied for a warrant hearing in Fulton Magistrate Court. The warrant application was denied, and Miss Delaney was ultimately charged with filing a false police report. Miss Delaney was again interviewed by Officer Fields on September 16, 2022. This interview was specifically in regard to Officer Fields getting information for the theft of the Harley Davidson. Afterwards, Ernest, meaning Nesto, was charged with multiple counts of conspiracy to commit a felony. Once again, this does not help their case. So now let's get to what some of y'all may not know. Let's go through everything that they got out of that doggone truck, okay? Because it's more than what you heard. All right. So out of the truck came the black backpack, the infamous book bag, which had multiple documents. So from 2155 Bent Creek Manor, those of you who know about my infamous field trip, pun intended, that was the house, that beautiful white house that we went to. And y'all saw me walk across the lawn. I felt bad about walking on the people's grass, but I was trying to be quick. And I peeked through the window because I wanted to know if that was really the house. You know, we had seen pictures on their social media, and I knew that if I got a look inside, I would be able to confirm. And I confirmed that was the house, okay? I saw shoes and kids' toys all over the place. I said, oh, there are people living here. I didn't think the house was occupied. So I hurried up and scooted on up out of there. All right, but anyway. So from the 21 Bent Creek Manor house, there was a Wells Fargo letter dated April 15, 2022, and an affidavit of garnishment on a financial institution by Vista Ray agent Don Poplowski. So that must have been the rental management company, okay, because they weren't paying their rent. So there was documentation regarding their eviction from 2155 Bent Creek Manor. So Shirley, if you're listening, y'all didn't leave because of no doggone bugs, okay? You left because you got evicted. That's why you left, okay, in such a hurry. There was a receipt for Precinct 1 autos, which is related to count 26 of that RICO. Piece of paper with Melody Scretchen's credit card number written on it. That's connected to counts 26 to 30. There was a check from Wade Ford in the amount of $2,852, also in the backpack. This is connected to Gail Bickham, another alleged victim. Well, she's not alleged, she's a victim. Williams traded in. So here's the situation with her. Nesto told her, I know you got this beautiful Mercedes Benz, but you need to upgrade. You should get an RV. It's a mobile office. It'll work great. Okay. So she gives him the title to her Mercedes Benz. It was paid off, 2121. He uses that to buy a 1997 Prevost RV. Right? Now, he trades that in, trades, how he purchases the Prevost is he trades in her Mercedes Benz. Okay. I don't know if she knew that her vehicle was being traded in, because you lose the value when you trade it in. But he traded it in, and that's how he got the RV. Okay. And put the RV in his company's name. They also found a bill of sale, a picture of a bill of sale for a 2002 Prevost vehicle. So what had happened was, I'm going to get to that in a second. So they also found documents about him trading in the 1997 Prevost RV and trading in the 2021 Mercedes-Benz. Okay. And then they had some documents regarding Premium Coach Group Arizona, which is apparently where they got the RV. Anyway, what Nesto did is he took this woman's Benz, traded it in, and got the RV, 1997 RV. Okay. Then he trades that 1997 Prevost, and he trades that in along with something else and ends up getting a 2022. Okay, so he takes the woman's Benz, trades it in for the Prevost. Then he ends up trading the Prevost in, and he purchases a 2002, so a newer model. He tells Gail Bigamy, "Oh, look, I upgraded you. I got you a better vehicle." Never discussed that with her. Put it in his company's name. She found out and was like, "No, it's supposed to be in my name. What's going on here?" Okay. They also found an invoice from G-Wagon sale. Okay. They found documentation of a 2002 Prevost vehicle and a 2008 Freightliner that was traded in for the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon at Wade Ford. Now, there was some monies left over because these two vehicles together, was more than the G-Wagon. So he had a check for $28.52. What Nesto did, took this woman's BMW, got the 1997 RV. Then he trades that in and gets the 2002 RV. Tells her, "I upgraded you." Now he takes the 2002, and remember, he gets these vehicles and makes 1 or 2 payments and then don't pay anymore. He trades in the 2002 Prevost and a 2008 Freightliner, and I believe that was an ambulance. And and if I'm wrong, but 2008 Freightliner. And he uses that to buy Shirley a G-Wagon, right? This woman never got her Mercedes back, and now the RVs are gone. And he got a check for $28.52. There were multiple hotel invoices. Okay. Now it says alleged victim. I feel like this might be the R victim whose name might have been on some of those hotel invoices. I feel like there was something funny going on with her. And I don't know what he had her doing in the hotel, but anyway, that's just my thought. Okay. That's alleged. It says alleged victim. I'm telling you, Wisdom's daughter thinks it could be the R victim. We'll find out later. Notice for payment from Palmer Dodge dated 12/22/21 in the amount of $27.74.40. There was documents regarding servicing the 2012 Dodge Charger. Payment tender was returned for insufficient funds. He had all of this in his vehicle. And that's pertaining to charges, counts 24 to 25, deposit account fraud and theft of services. He had some documents regarding Atlanta Fine Cards buyer's contract. He also had the license plate for the 2014 Bentley Mulsanne that he purchased in March of 2020. They found the silver and black G-Tac computer related to the child P stuff. Okay, and there's 3 cases there on that. 3 iPhones. 1 iPhone was on his person. 1 iPhone was found in the black bag, and then a gold iPhone found in the truck. I believe the gold iPhone is the one that Sonia was trying to get into, that she got the power of attorney for. I think. I could be wrong. Okay. The gold iPhone had text messages from Ernest's phone's download, Nesto, okay? There were messages between Nesto and Dominique, okay, about Thwaites. And we talked a little bit earlier on Dennis's live about who Thwaites was. There was iCloud and Instagram search warrants, okay? So basically, I guess there was information on the phone regarding Nesto's old, because they're not there anymore, Instagram accounts. Nesto Elite Security and Nesto's Buckhead, okay? Let me just check the comments, make sure we good. Okay. They call me Mo, says, speaking of receipts, I want to know how Sonia ended up with the hotel receipt, because she probably was in that mug with him. There were photos of Dominique and somebody at the beach in Destin, Florida. Okay. Now I'm thinking that might be a victim, because he went to, remember, he would go to Destin to get in the green waters, right? He get in the green waters. You got to cleanse yourself. Nesto thought that he could commit all these crimes, go to Destin, Florida, get in the green water. He would baptize himself in the water, go down dirty, funky, and all these crimes, and come up clean, washed away, a clean slate. He told these female victims, you need to come to Destin with me, to Destin, Florida. You're going to get in the green waters, and this is how you're going to upgrade yourself. This is how you're going to elevate. Okay? You got to cleanse. You got to wash in the green waters. Them green waters going to make you rich. Now, I don't know about you, but that wouldn't work on me. I don't know what desperate situation these women's were in, okay? Because, you know, Black people got to put an S on the end of everything. These women's, I don't know what kind of situation they were in. That's not going to work on me. There was a USB drive, 32 gigabytes, okay? Who knows what was on the USB drive, but they confiscated that. There were keys to multiple vehicles, including the G-Wagon. And then they also, I think he had keys to like some of the Harley Davidsons, and the warrants are all there. EW, I guess, you know, that's an executed warrant. I guess is what it stands for. So, and that was for charges of theft by deception. He had 2 storage unit keys, 2 storages. I wonder if Shirley knew about both storage units. Why they have 2? 2 black dildos, the black mask with the zips, and Sonia's favorite liquid Viagra. So that's everything that came out of this truck, okay? Nesto Shackle Shuffle Walk of Shame said, hello, Sonia, this is Shirley. That man you thought you were stealing from me, I gave him to you freely. I heard the advice you gave him on the phone calls. It hurt me to learn. Y'all thought I was a fool. I know that's right. Honeybee said Nesto is a dumb career criminal. Then they took their ass on a public tour. The Bible say when a fool shutteth his lips, he's counted as wise. Just darn ridiculous. Yep. Born account said Nesto planted those bugs to get her out that house because of the eviction. No, he might have. He might. Listen, that's funny. That is funny. Jam has some advice for us ladies, okay? Jam said, women, love yourselves better than any man ever can. This is the result of when you don't allot. Oh, this is the result of when you don't. A lot of these women were smart but lonely, it seems. Correct. You listen, that's what a father's job is. A father's job is to teach his daughter how a man is supposed to treat you and love you. And unfortunately, a lot of these women didn't have their fathers in their lives, right? I know what that's like. When you needed the father, there's a certain age where you really need your father. And so you're looking for love. You're looking for that love that you, in that bond that you should have gotten from your father. Treat yourselves well. I take myself out on dates all the time. Okay. Tomorrow after church, I'm taking myself out on a date to one of my favorite buffet spots. But treat yourself well, because when you treat yourself well, you will never allow a man to treat you less than how you treat yourself. Right? A man can't take me to McDonald's. What? Call me bougie. Don't even take me to Red Lobsters unless we just going to pick up some biscuits. Okay, we could do that. We can go to the drive-through, or we can go to the takeout line and pick up some biscuits. I'm just saying, but that doesn't impress me. You're not gonna impress me taking me to Red Lobster. I can take myself to Red Lobster. Okay, I can take myself to Outback Steakhouse. Take me someplace that I can't afford to take myself to, and then we can have a conversation. Then I'm impressed. Okay, I'm just saying. And you don't have to feel guilty or like a gold digger or anything like that, because some of these men out here are very good for making you feel bad about wanting to have high standards. A man can only do to you what you allow, and I stand on it. All right. And I'm gonna open up the lines in a minute because a lot of y'all commenting and y'all might have something to say on this. So before we start looking at these marriage certificates and whatnot, I'm gonna drop the link because I want to hear from some of y'all. I want to hear from some of y'all what you guys think about this. Okay, there's a lot of women out here, there's men out here too. All right, there's quite a few men in the bushes. I see y'all. I know y'all probably wondering how I see y'all in the bushes, but you know, I got my glasses on, I can see y'all in the bushes. But if you want to call in, hit the link, call in and tell us your thoughts. In the meantime, I'm gonna read some of your comments. Nesto picked marginalized women to take advantage of. He got to know their history, and he knew how far he could push them. Right, because a lot of these women on the first date or first time they met Nesto told them how they're down and out, they've been abused before, they was AR'd before, you know, and once that's happened to you already, you are very susceptible to it happening again. You know, these men know, oh, okay, oh, she's still broken. A man knows who he can try and who he can't. Okay. Sonia, this is Skirly Strawberries. I was foolish to think Ernest loved me, but hun, I'm not a fool. Once things are evident and has been proven, what's your excuse? My advice is for you to meet the grand jury deadline. Oh, y'all funny. I think the person in the picture is Sonia. Remember Sonia talked about Nesto bringing someone with him to Florida with him to visit. Oh, she was still living in Florida then. Nikki D is on it. Nikki D, you might be right. You show is right. You for real might be right. You might be right. Dominique, wow. It could be. It very well could. You know what? We're going to do a poll. Y'all tell me, who do you think Nesto was in Destin, Florida with? Dominique and who? Dominique and who? I'm just going to do a quick poll. And sorry, I keep clicking on Q&A by accident. Start a poll. Okay, so the question is, who was with Dominique? Am I spelling her name right? In Destin, Florida. Okay, that's the question. So one option is it Sonia? Was it Skirly? Because I thought it could be Shirley too. Was it Sonia? Was it Shirley? Or was it the R victim? Okay. This is a photo of Dominique and somebody at the beach in Destin. All right. And I'm just going to say another victim because it doesn't have to be our victim. It could be Melody Scretchen or it could be Bigamy. I think Melody Scretchen went to the green waters with Nesto. All right. So I'm just going to put a victim. All right. So we're going to start a poll and y'all tell me what y'all think. Who was with Dominique and Destin? Who's the person in this picture? We got Honeybee is coming up to lay some wisdom on us. Hold on just a second. Let me move things out the way so we can get Honeybee up. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a second, okay? Just a second. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Hi, Wisdom Daughter.
Hey, Honeybee 60. What is going on, Queen?
Hey, how's everybody in the chat? I just had a couple of points I had wanted to make. And you got to take it at the beginning of when we came into this trial thing with him. The first thing was you can't expect an adequate defense when you're not even truthful with your attorneys. So he left it up to them like, oh, they'll do their thing. I'm paying them. They'll find out what they need to know, blah, blah, blah. You can't do that because then when you get frustrated, they didn't say this. They didn't say that in court. But you're not telling your lawyer that. You're telling Hen Squire that. Or, you know, once they went on their little public thing and the calls got released, you know, the little public tour and everything like that, you know, that was just ridiculous. But see, when you've been a liar and the truth ain't in you, that's the stuff that happened because the truth, he never wanted to be exposed. So he's thinking, well, I'm not going to expose myself. Okay, well, all right, fine. You're in a big rut. All right. The next thing I wanted to say was Nesto don't have no love for anybody. His thing is how he could profit from them. Now, for Sonya, if you remember, there was a video and he did make a comment about it's something that she does in the bed, some type of moving around, bouncing or something like that. His mind is always how he can get the person, male or female, to how he can use you, how you a benefit for him. The case in point, when I said a male, think about what he tried to do to Drake. This supposed to be y'all was down, y'all been through the trenches, y'all was in the war camp and blah, 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 blah. You saved him, all this kind of stuff. But guess what he was trying to do? He needed them funds to try to get bail. So you wanted to sick Sonya's sister on him to give you the connection of information to where she's going to tell Sonya, da-da-da-da, and y'all can kind of work him. That's where Nesto is. It's never about love for him. You know, I remember being in a chat and one of the chatters said something to the extent that thank God Shirley got away from him because with the age difference, and I hate to go this far, but I really believe this, what she said. She was like, dang, thank God Shirley gone because at the end, she could have met her in if there was an insurance policy. That's a thought. So, yeah, I had to write it down so I don't forget nothing. I done got old, my mind get to jumping all over the place. But those were the kind of things I wanted to bring up. And then, like I said, when Tight Suit, when he sat up there and tried to come after you guys and everything like that, okay, we sat back because we followed this. We knew that was Sonya all over it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're trying to do a case, because I get it, I've said in courts before, public defenders have a stack so high, continue. Some things they just continue, and stuff like that. Yes, they have a heavy workload. So he probably was under the thought, oh, she really knows him. They really, da 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 da. And most of your stuff was about what she was talking about. Then you run around trying to put out fires, like somebody in the chat said, that weak stuff he was trying to throw at Wooten. Wooten just sat back. He just sat back. He for real know what he doing. He just sat back and said, okay, bam. And then he threw that bam down on their butt and stuff. And then he's sitting up there like, oh God, what do I do? Okay. Wooten was nothing to play with, him nor Fonnie. And then you're on there, y'all dogging this lady out, dogging these people out, telling all your business. Even in this last video that they did was only like a couple of minutes. She had the nerve to say, he said, I don't want to talk about that. Well, what I'm going to do, this is how we're going to do since things are the way it is. I'm just paraphrasing. We're going to sit up there and give Joe the information. No, you tell Joe, and then Joe will tell me on a private line and not out here on this YouTube straight. What? And you just got in trouble by Wooten saying, I want everything. So now what you done did to do that, now Doug get a chance to have his, or Doug/Joe get a chance to have his stuff subpoenaed too. Because didn't Wooten say anybody, anything dealing with on regards of that stuff?
Okay.
And I'm like, I know I'm 61, but I'm like, I just never seen so much ignorance in my lifetime. I mean, willingly being ignorant. Somebody trying to shut you up. But see, Nesto, 1 minute, okay, after it's going too far, you want to shut her up, but you let her hype you up. Yeah, okay, yeah, we'll go on Tasha K. Yeah, we'll go over here to so-and-so, to the Silverback, and I want to tell my story. Okay. I'll let you see how that works out for you.
Nesto knew, I think he had second thoughts even before, if you read the text messages, even before he went on Silverback's channel, he was having second thoughts. He was looking for affirmation from Sonya. Sonya is the giver of false hope. Okay. Yeah. She's constantly filling that man with false hope. And that's not what he needs. He needs somebody to talk to him real. And what you said about the insurance thing, that is so true. That is something that I don't think anybody's ever talked about. You're absolutely right. Because what wouldn't this man do? Right? Yeah. What wouldn't he do? Because, I mean, with everything that he's done so far, I wouldn't put it past him. I would not put it past him. But Sonya got Nesto effed up. Yeah. And I wholeheartedly believe it because she's all in the in his attorney's ears. And whatnot, and they're getting all confused. They can't even do what it is that they want to do because she's so busy running them, running them out.
Interference.
And there you go. interfering and trying to run interference with no law degree.
Exactly.
And Nesto gave her permission and a license to do that. So basically, he gave her permission to screw him over.
That's true.
You know, so it's listen, he is getting everything that is coming to him.
Oh yeah.
And you know, and the thing is, I don't know how Sean Hoover is going to get him out of this, because again, Wooten's argument was really, really good. And I think they're out of cards. I think it's over. I don't know.
I do too.
Yeah.
But it goes back to what I said, when you lying, and then like I said, they were doing things, somebody, I think it was you, had made the comment, and then some people in the chat, you know, instead of going after the bloggers, listening to that, listen to Hen Squire and everything like that, you're wasting time. Because if you get your group, some of them to look at those videos, you'll see that they hung themselves, and he would even true to you. Some of the stuff you find out about your own client, you find it out from social media.
Correct.
So the show ain't came out of his mouth.
Correct. And as you said, I don't believe Nesto has been truthful to his attorney.
No.
And Hen Squire, Mistress Messy Boots over here, was talking about how one of these recent calls, that phone calls from Prison Plate. It was an old call, but she posted it recently, and was talking about, well, you know, her and Nesto and Sonia were talking about pro bono. And he's like, well, you know, those pro bono lawyers. And I'm like, they don't even know what they're talking about. Lawyers are required to do a certain amount of pro bono work. That's how they keep up their licenses. It's a requirement. You have to do a certain amount of work. And so it doesn't mean that because you have a free lawyer that it's not a good lawyer. Hoover he's doing the best he can.
That's true.
But you know, he's good. Wooten is better.
He's doing the best he's doing the best he can with, like I say, if you got even the mafia, right, back in the day, when you looked at all the real crime stories, right, of the different things, they had to be honest with a lawyer so that you can go in and remember the movie Walking Tall? He went back and brought up something about a horse and a buggy being tied up. That judge peered over her glasses at him. But what I'm saying is, but you have to give your lawyer something so that what did Wooten do? He went back to King James, right? But if you're not honest with your attorney, it's only so much he had to surface grab, right? Because you're not giving him the true points. And even if he lose, he can put up that fight, grabbing something that can maybe, it won't get him off, but kind of work in your favor to kind of just sway a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You gave him nothing. You got this girl in here running her mouth, yip-yapping like a little chihuahua. You know, nipping at people's heels and stuff, and it's just ridiculous. But like I say, yes, you do reap what you sow, because this is just what we know, right? We don't know what else that this man has done out there, right? So yes, he has to pay for that. But what Sonya done did, and I get what happened to Nesto. You sitting up in there, you know, people ain't, you know, coming forth with the money. You want to get up out of there, which I believe he would have ran. But the thing about it is, she stroked that thing of a younger woman, right? Giving, like you say, giving him that hope and everything like that. And he was all excited about her legal, you know, even though God knows she wasn't talking legalese worth of nothing, but she was talking, and he got all hyped up and excited, and he lost his own self and his own senses and stuff. Because yes, you could feel like something is wrong, but it means nothing if you don't take the actions and shut your mouth. Because even though he started to sense things, he was still running his mouth.
Correct. And he should have listened to his son and everybody else that told him to stay quiet. So what we're going to do real quick, because we got about 20 minutes left, I'm going to read through what was found at some of the other, at the residences. So this is... Okay,
I'm going to get down. I just had I had to write it down and think about what I wanted to say and everything like that. But good job, Wisdom Daughter. Thank you for going to the court and everything like that. We really thank you for your commentary. And I love you on this channel as well as over on the Wisdom Daughter channel. So keep doing your thing.
Yes. No, thank you so much for coming up. For sure.
Okay, sweetie. Bye-bye.
Bye. So let's take a look at what was taken from Erica King's house real quick. Okay, because I do want to get to this Dre call at the end because it's funny. It's only 10 minutes, but we're going to listen to the whole thing. All right. So 10 phones. Okay. 10 cell phones, one belonging to her husband, James Rutherford, 3 iPhones that belong to her, okay, a Samsung phone that they found in the master bathroom, a OnePlus phone they found in the master bathroom. I said that was a burner phone. 3 TCL phones in the. Why do you have so many phones? You got 5 phones in your bathroom. What are you doing in the bathroom that you need 5 phones? 1 rose gold iPhone in the closet, a silver iPad in the bathroom, a MacBook Air laptop, an Apple desktop, an HP desktop, a camel bag with a wallet with 3 driver's licenses, 3 credit cards, and I'm assuming that the credit cards go with the driver's license. I don't know. They had a checkbook for someone named India Young, a Fendi wallet with multiple cards, legal stamps. 2 to 5 of them were found in the closet. Vehicles on the property was a white Rolls-Royce Ghost. Hold on, guys, 1 second. This is my son. Hold on just 1 second. I'll be right back. That's my son asking if he can use my Netflix. He's so cute. He's with some family. He said, "Mom, can I use your Netflix?" All right. Getting back to what we were talking about. So she had a 2011 Rolls-Royce Ghost, a Cadillac Escalade, keys to a Honda, and then the Rolls-Royce key. A box of what they think is fake money, 4 notebooks, a Georgia driver's license belonging to somebody named Tammy Strong. There was a paper temporary driver's license and the actual driver's license seized. Y'all got to be careful when you get the paper driver's license here in Georgia. Don't just throw that in the trash can, because that's actually ID. They also found, so all this was found in a document and discussed on the Tammy Strong interview. So they interviewed this victim. A copy of the Georgia Secretary of State professional licensing report for Tammy Strong. She's a registered professional nurse. So they had found her information. So it wasn't just the lawyer that Erica King impersonated. She also had identification for other people. They found EIN for a company called National Claim Services, and they had a Tammy Renee Strong listed as a managing member. So see, they're using this woman's identification. This is fraud. This is identification fraud. Another IRS EIN number for a portfolio receivable partners, Tammy Virgil Strong. She just changed the middle name. Now, here's what they found at Nesto's place that he wasn't supposed to have. They found the 2014 black Bentley Mulsanne. That was the vehicle that Dre got out of that he was sporting at the wedding. If you guys saw the wedding video, they got the VIN number and everything. That was registered for to Nesto using his barbershop address. There was a 2020 black Harley Davidson that was registered to Regina Delaney. That was one of the victims that was mentioned earlier. There was a blue 2021 Harley Davidson registered to Olivia Washington. Again, that was just mentioned. There was also a 2012 red Pierce TG. Now that was definitely the ambulance. And that was registered to Nesto's Elite Private Security. Again, they're confirming that it was a red ambulance. It was searched and found multiple boxes with the name Christine Mays, possible car parts per the affidavit, and car parts totaling $1,000 mentioned to be potentially in the boxes. And then they have all of his associated counts listed. Okay. So we've gone through this before. I'm not going to go through that now. And then we end up with Hoover's brief in terms of why he feels that Nesto is entitled to have this vehicle information suppressed. Hold on just 1 second. Let me just take this down. The purpose of the exclusionary rule is to deter future unlawful police conduct and thereby effectuate the guarantee of the Fourth Amendment against unreasonable searches and seizures. When evidence is obtained in violation of the Fourth Amendment, the judicially developed exclusionary rule usually precludes its use in a criminal proceeding against the victim of the illegal search and seizure. The state has failed to adduce evidence in their response to their response to the defense's motion to suppress, as well as through testimony at the hearing, sufficient to establish the predicates for the application of any exception. Just because you say something doesn't make it true, okay? So you could say all day long that the state did not provide sufficient evidence, doesn't mean that it's true, because he definitely provided sufficient evidence here. And you see, Hoover is talking about the Fourth Amendment, and Wooten basically addressed that through and through. Okay. So I'm not going to read all this. It's just basically this is what we've been talking about this entire live. So I'm not going to keep repeating the same thing over and over. They're trying to say, as I said earlier, that the vehicle was searched unlawfully and that all the evidence obtained from that search was ultimately unlawful. Okay, and should not be permitted to be used in the case. Now, you see, so Hoover is asking that all evidence and evidence purportedly seized in conjunction with the illegal and volatile, because it was illegal and volatile. It was a volatile search and seizure. That is what the video showed, not including but not limited to any derivative evidence obtained as a result of the search listed above. Okay, so this is basically Hoover's argument right here. It's a very short argument. He just basically quotes the Fourth Amendment and is trying to use that to say that, you know, Nesto's rights were violated, that he had a right to privacy. Okay, I'll just read this part. So we know that he was arrested. Afterwards, they're saying that the officers illegally impounded the truck. At no time did the officer memorialize or articulate that they had probable cause to impound or subsequently search the vehicle. Even with the complete lack of reasonable suspicion or probable cause, officers still searched the vehicle in violation of Mr. Williams' Fourth Amendment constitutional right. This is why Wooten was focused so much on the Fourth Amendment, because that's ultimately their argument, and he done busted holes in their argument. All right. So now let's take a look at this right here. And this is the last thing we're going to take a look at, and then we're going to do the Dre call before we end. All right. So here is a document regarding Ernest, aka Nesto, and Edith. Okay. This is the certified. This is not the actual marriage certificate. This is a court, a letter from a probate judge. Okay, so this is an official court document. It does say marriage certificate, so I guess this is like another copy anyway, because as you can see, it says witness my hand and seal of said court this day, 23rd of January 2025. So they just got this. Okay, this is the certified that on October 22nd 1985 in Aiken, in the county of Aiken, state of South Carolina, Ernest Williams Jr. and Edith Winnie Miller were united in bonds of matrimony by Faustine Burbidge, notary, this is a public notary, in accordance with the law of South Carolina, and as shown by the records of this court. Okay, we had a similar document from Chronicle Speaks, okay, that was provided to her by Edith herself. All right, so here's the proof that he married Edith in 1985. Okay. Here is now a marriage license application for Nesto and Martha. This was dated, let me see, where's the date? It's, is there a date on here? Let me see. Yeah, so August 20th, 2001. Okay. So August 20th, 2001, he is applying to marry Martha. Okay. Here is the marriage license for Nesto and Martha. And it says that they were married on September 1st, 2001 in Smyrna, Cobb County. And it was recorded October 1st. So they got married. Okay. Here's the marriage certificate. I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see it. Okay. Here is the marriage certificate for Nesto and who? Martha. They were married on the 1st of September by Alton Fuller. I guess that's supposed to be Reverend. By Reverend Alton Fuller in the city of Smyrna, county of Cobb. Okay. So he's still married to Edith at this point, and now he marries Martha. Now here we have the license application for Nesto to marry Shirley Strawberry. Lord have mercy. This man is just... So they're planning to get married on January 9th, 2015. This document was stamped on December 16th, 2014. Okay. He is still married to Edith. And now he has married Martha. And now he's trying to marry Shirley. Let's see something here. What does that say? Oh, that's the mother's full name. Okay. That's interesting. So Nesto's mom's name is Brenda Marshall. And the father's name is Ernest Williams Sr. Okay. I got to go back to some of my previous notes because I had found some stuff and I wasn't sure if that was Nesto's parents or not. All right. Well, that's his mama's name if y'all want to go and be nosy. Not to, do anything nefarious, but just to find some things research-wise. Okay. So here is the elusive marriage certificate that nobody could find for Shirley Strawberry. Here it is. Ernest L. Williams Jr., Shirley Clark Strawberry were united in marriage by Pastor Jasper Williams on the 9th day of January in 2015, the city of Atlanta, county of Fulton. Okay? He was still married to Edith and illegally married to Martha. Here is the divorce decree from his marriage to Martha. Upon consideration of this case, upon evidence submitted as provided by law, it is the judgment of the court that a total divorce be granted. That is to say, a divorce, a vinculo matrimony between the parties to the above stated case upon legal principles. As it is considered, ordered, and decreed by the court that the marriage contract hereto entered into between the parties of this case from and after this date be and is set aside and dissolved as fully and effectually as if no such contract had ever been made or entered into. Okay? They were divorced on the 29th of December in 2021. That was after, well after, Shirley married Nesto. So you can't even say alleged bigamy anymore. Okay. He committed bigamy and that's a felony. Here is the divorce document for Shirley Strawberry. Okay. Where she's basically saying that she wants to get a divorce, that she's going to leave with whatever she has. They don't have any joint marital assets or debts. He's going to keep what he has. And that truck is hers. Okay. Because it's in her name. So everything that's hers is hers, and whatever is his is his. They're going to allowed to retain her separate property. Each party is responsible for his or own individual debt. So she couldn't say, hey, listen, I know this truck was registered to me, but you were driving it. You got to pay for it. No. She leaves with what she has. He leaves with what he has, which is nothing. Came with nothing, leave with nothing. And her divorce was finalized it wasn't finalized in April, but that was the complaint for the divorce, which was filed in April. Okay. And Again, this is the complaint for her saying that she wants to be divorced. Okay. And then here's the final judgment of the divorce decree for Shirley Strawberry. Okay. So that was finally, I know when Shirley got these papers, she probably cried, danced, passed out, everything. It was finally on September 30th, 2024, she was granted a divorce from Nesto. Okay. And that is, that's pretty much it. So that is the motion. Okay. And as I said earlier, Wooten said checkmate. He pulled up them boxing gloves and said, you know what, Hoover, I'm sick of you. Checkmate. All right. We've got 5 minutes, but I'm gonna hold you for another 10 because we're gonna look at this quick Dre video because we have Miss Dre and it is funny. It is funny. Okay, that's not the one. Hold on a second. I'm gonna share my screen. We'll listen to it. And this is where my soundbite comes from. All right, so this video, Nesto confronts Dre confronts Nesto about his ultimatum. Okay. And he basically tells Nesto that he's acting like a little boy. So let me just make sure that this is the right one. And nope, this is not the right one. Hang on a second. We'll do this one another time because this is 28 minutes. I don't want to do that one. Let's see. Let's see if this is it. How do I keep pulling up the same one? Hold on 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Here it is. Okay. Dre lectures Nesto. Okay. Third time's the charm, right? Here we go. Third time's the charm.
Oh, okay. Okay, Counselor, Mr. Counselor, sir. You was right. Hello?
I was right about what?
You was right. You was right. They did this with bluffing like a motherfucker. Bluffing. Yeah, you was right. But am I wrong?
Yes.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
All right, we're going to cue this back up to where they first start talking.
Oh, okay.
Hello?
Okay, Counselor, Mr. Counselor, sir. You was right. Hello?
I was right about what?
You was right. You was right. They did this with bluffing like a motherfucker. Bluffing. Yeah, you was right. But am I wrong?
Yes.
Tell me why I'm wrong.
You're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're acting like a little boy right now.
Oh,
you're acting like. You asked me a question, I'm going to give you an answer.
Okay, give me an answer. Give me an answer.
You're acting like a little boy right now. You're acting like a little child.
Okay.
And you because you're not hearing what you want to hear. You're trying to force her to give you an answer. She's already said, I didn't say that. I didn't say I was not leaving you. I didn't say I didn't ask for no divorce. She said, all I can do right now, we need to talk when you get out. You ain't getting that. She said that.
Okay,
but she, So you're going to have to be patient. You don't have no power right now. I just told you that.
Okay, but here's the problem.
That gangster stuff and that cussing and I'm a man and all of that, that's not working in Cobb County right now.
Tell him, Dre. Okay, Dre gave him the business in this call. Okay, all that gangster talk and rah and talking over me, nah, that ain't working. You ain't got no power here.
It's not working. It's not working. It might work on them other little girls that you deal with. It's not working. You're not hearing her. You're not hearing her. She said she don't want that to be a part of her life.
Okay, I'll stop there.
When you get out, you're gonna have to handle your business. As I said that earlier. That's what she's gonna be looking for. If you're gonna be with her, you're gonna mess around and lose her.
Well, here's the thing. In my mind, that's already gone.
That's not what she said.
I know, but here's the thing. I'm sure my mind is.
You in jail. That's not what she's saying. She's talking perfectly clear. She says she's stressed. She got a lot going on. And you forcing her to try to give her an answer that what you want right now. And she says, don't give her no ultimatum. And I got that. If I'm in a wheelchair and you're going to cut the life support off, that means that I'm done. I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Okay, I'm gonna let you talk then. I'm gonna say what I got to say.
I said, wait, what the fuck is he talking about? That ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Okay, so let me.
She said she told you when Dion called, he happened to call. She didn't go through a third party. She didn't have the money on the phone. So when she happened to call, he asked her a question. She gave him an answer.
Okay.
You making it seem like that she's going out in the streets telling everybody she finna leave you. She said she didn't say that.
Okay, but listen, Dre, listen.
I've been listening.
But you ain't listening. Okay, I heard you.
You need to sit down and chill. There's nothing you can do right now. Nothing.
I got that part, but listen.
You can't even parole to her house unless if she don't want you to. If she say no, he's not coming here, you have to get another address.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to figure out. That's all I'm saying.
She said she didn't say that. If you keep calling us with that gangster shit, you probably will force her not to die. I don't want to deal with that.
Okay, well,
there's too much pressure.
Okay, they already said that. So if you are,
now, did she say that you can't? Did she say that you can't come stay here?
Listen to me, Trey. Okay, I heard that part.
No, she didn't say that.
No, she didn't say that. But this is what I'm trying to get.
So when those folks say it's time for you to go, or we finna release you, where you going? When you call and say, "Can I come there?" That's when you get your answer. If not, you're going to go to Plan B, Nesto.
I ain't finna wait that long. I ain't finna wait. I'm going to have my shit in order. No, I'm not finna do that.
Okay, well, you go ahead and get it in order or go to Plan B, but always trying to call her and make her say that today she's frustrated.
Okay, let me explain something to you.
I love Dre. Dre is all loud. He hollering. Honeybee said, "Woo, child." I wonder if Sonya knew that she was Plan B. Mistress Messy Boots, did you know that you was Plan B? Yeah, you was the backup plan.
You ain't. What you gonna say?
Because you got your point, but you ain't listening to what I'm saying.
I heard everything that woman done said from the first phone call to the non-phone call. You sitting there saying, I need to make a, you go ahead on behalf. It sounds like you might be a little hurt by her decision that she done made. Are you hurt?
No.
So you say you ain't never loved her, no way.
No, this ain't the deal.
Because you keep talking about, well, you just go ahead and be happy. I want you to be happy. And I don't want to do this. It sounds like you look jealous.
You know, I had to hear this shit for 9 years. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? You don't love me. Do you know how much time?
You chose to marry her.
I ain't got no problem with listening to what I'm trying
You chose to go down that route.
Okay, so basically you said, okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you chose to go. You chose her to be your wife.
Listen, I ain't got no problem. What I'm trying to say is this here.
You sit your ass down somewhere.
Okay, no, because this is different.
Say it again, Dre. You need to sit your ass down somewhere, Nesto.
The first call, the second call. First you said,
oh, my God, man.
But listen what I got to say. Can you listen, sir? Can I?
You need to make some goddamn sense.
Okay, well, you let me tell you, then it don't make sense to you. Okay, I needed to get a clear answer. I got that. Now, the clear answer, where I had to go, I heard the way I had to go, I heard. She say, I'm tired. To me, when you tell me you tired, you down with all of that shit. Okay, because all of it come with it, Jay. You know what I'm saying? All this come together. It ain't no just one, because you can pick what you want to do, pick and choose what you want to deal with. It's all come together, Dre. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit out here and get out on bond and then revoke my shit because some shit I said, dealing with her crazy for. I ain't taking no risks like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, stop asking her what you're going to do then. Just go ahead on to another female and get another address then. Don't even call her no more then. If that's how you feel, okay. Yeah, well, if you're a gangster, let me tell you what gangsters do. Okay, if you're not sincere, if you're not secure that your wife gonna be there for you when they decide to release you, or she might tell them and put you back in jail, then you need to go to Plan B.
Okay.
And stop asking her what she's gonna do.
Okay.
No, I didn't hear her say that.
Oh.
So, and then when you get out, then you go down and sit down and have a conversation that she want to grant you with, that we need to talk. And that conversation going to be about All the shit y'all been dealing with for the last 8 years. That's what it's going to be about. If you don't already know what the conference going to be about. What you going to do, this is right, because she said it's been about you for the last 8 years. You didn't hear her when she said that, right? It's been about you for the last 8 years.
Okay.
So basically, she said it ain't been about her.
Well, first of all, then I got my head split, my eyes poked out. But man, I've been through. You done heard all the conversation now. Come on now. How it's gonna be about me? Everything about me.
Wait, what did Nesto say? Wait a minute. Hold on 1 second. Let me look at this transcript really quick. Because remember, do you guys remember me telling you that Nesto got his behind whooped in jail? That was information that was passed to me, and I didn't have a receipt for you. Sometimes I just have to, go with it until I can actually prove it to you. But hold on 1 second. Let me just go to the 7-minute mark because Nesto got his behind whooped. And I thought it might have happened in Fulton, but he was already in Cobb County at this point. Yeah, he says it. At the 7:25 mark, my head split, my eyes poked out, man. Yeah, because I remember telling you guys I had heard that. Every now and again, I get some information on the inside, and that's what I heard, that they split his wig. That's what I definitely heard.
My head split, my eyes poked out. But man, I've been through. You done heard all the conversation now. Come on now. How it's gonna be about me? Everything about me. That's some bullshit. But I didn't want to, because I could have. But she's so fucking sensitive, so I don't even take it to her like that.
You chose to marry her. That's your wife. Don't call her sensitive now.
Yeah, I ain't got no.
You know what you were dealing with when you walked down the aisle with her.
Oh, but listen, I ain't got no problem with that. I want her to fix her mouth what she's saying. When you tell somebody you're tired of all of that first conversation, I'm just tired of everything. Okay.
You don't. Okay. Well, granted, what can you do it now?
You have 1 minute remaining.
I'm gonna have to put some more money on that phone because I ain't got but $1 left. No. I'm gonna put some more money on it. What you mean you got it? How you mean you got it?
I got my answer.
Oh, see, he slipped up right there. He don't want Dre to put no more money on the phone because he tired of Dre tearing him a new one. And then he said, no, I got it. Because by this point, Mistress Messy Boots over here, wannabe Shirley, was putting money on his phone. So that's why he was like, wait, what you mean you got it? What you got? He's like, I got my answer. That's not what Nesto was talking about. Nesto be low-key telling on himself all the time.
I got my answer. All good. I'm straight. I just want to get clarification. I got my clarification. I'm good.
Yeah, I got $1 left. You can't call no. You need to sit down somewhere. You really do. You have your time when you get out. All that raw gangster shit, you're going to push your way. Okay. And what's going to happen is, I told you, girl, I be trying to tell you. Now you see that you don't need that in your favor.
Okay, you're right.
Take it from someone that was hard-headed when their friend was trying to talk to him. Take it from someone that done been through this shit.
Yeah, that's right.
But when I was told to sit your ass down somewhere, Dre, no, I'm going to do what I want to goddamn do.
Okay, all right. You sure right.
And all kind of goddamn trouble and shit. Spending all kind of money to stay on.
Thank you for using Global Tellink.
Thank you for watching.
Oh my God, that is one of my favorite Dre calls. Okay, Dre told Nesto to sit his ass down somewhere. He said, "You in jail? What can you do from here? You ain't got no power." Oh my gosh! So we are just about coming up on the end. We will definitely be doing some more Dre calls. There is a whole playlist of Dre calls, and I do have my favorites, and so we are going to go back and cover those Dre calls because they're hilarious. And now that we know what we know, it's interesting to go back to some of the calls now because it's like, wow, things are really starting to make sense. Things that we heard we wasn't sure about. So, yep. Had Nasty Nesto listened to Dion, this wouldn't be going this long. Correct. That's a fact. That's absolutely a fact. But Nesto don't listen to anybody but Mistress Messy Boots. So Sonya, you have nobody to blame but yourself because she thought she knew so much. She know everything. Everything is civil, right? It's not criminal. That's why your man is still in jail for almost 3 years, because it's civil, right? Because that's what happens when it's civil. Your man is sitting in a jail cell when it's civil. No, that's what happens when you listen to your stupid side chick. That's what happens, okay? Sonia bamboozled Nesto, okay? They just running schemes on each other. Everybody running schemes on each other, right? Nesto running schemes on Sonia running schemes on Infamous running schemes on Nesto. I mean, it's just a hot mess. Auntie Gigi said Dre, Deanna, and Lamont didn't want to be drugged into this with these clowns. Facts. Can you imagine? So now we know why Shirley was like, no, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I cannot do this anymore. Nesto is a bugaboo. I don't know if you heard it in the call, but he was calling, he kept calling Shirley. He wanted Shirley to give him an answer right then and there, if he can come home to her or not, because he wanted to try to figure things out with his side chick. But what Nesto didn't know is he couldn't go to Sonia's anyway. She has a record. He couldn't stay with her either. Right. So I don't know if he was going to try to finagle where he could stay with her sister. I don't know what Nesto was fitting to do. I really don't know what he was fitting to do. But anyway, I'm going to give you guys the results of the poll. So I asked you who was Dominique and Destin with in that picture. And 66% of you said you think it's the victim. It might be Scretchen. It could be the R victim. All right. 6% of you thought it could be Shirley. And 28% thought it could be Sonia. All right. So we'll see. We will find out at some point who was in Destin, Florida with Dominique, and we will find out who was right. Because if that was Shirley's protege, it's very possible that she was in Destin, Florida with them. Don't know. But somebody made a great point that Sonia did mention him bringing somebody to Florida. So we'll just have to see. But thank you guys so much for being on the live. The next court date, well, if Sonia has to go to court, it's going to be on the 31st of January. But other than that, Nesto's hearing has been pushed back, and we're just waiting for calendar. We're really waiting for calendar kind of at this point. So I wouldn't even trust any of the dates that we see right now on the docket until after the situation with Sonia. So we're going to be in this thing for a while. This is not going to be a once and done. It's not going to be as long, obviously, as the YSL, but as you can see, this is taking a while. Thank each of you for stopping by BGT and supporting the live. Please remember to like on your way out of the chat if you have not done so already. And have a good night, everyone. So listen, y'all get some sleep, some rest. All right. We will likely be back on Bad Girls Talk tomorrow night, same time. So make sure you guys join me tomorrow night at 7. I will post the notification a few hours before the live, so you guys have time to get some stuff done and get settled in, so we can have a kiki listening to these Dre calls. Oh, you can hear my dog. That is Gigi. Yeah, they were outside running around for about 2 hours. Yeah, that was my goal, to tire themselves out. And yeah, after running around in the backyard for 2 doggone hours straight while I was assembling some stuff up in here, I had to assemble a coffee table, and I didn't want them messing around with the screws and whatnot while I was doing that. So yeah, she is over here knocked out like she been partying all night. Yeah, so sorry about the sound effects in the background. Uncle Willie wants to be a moderator. That's funny. Shout out Cross Country Cruiser, Miami Lady T, to all of the members. And for those of you who are tuning in or returning again, thank you so much for being here on Bad Girls Talk. And I will see you guys on the next one. Y'all have a good evening.